Howdy, YouTube folks. It's your friendly girl, Ellen, aka Ellen's Life, which for those of you who are OGs to my channel will know that it originally was Spirit Wolf, but I changed it. And I think it was quite long. I think it was Bushwiccan added on there as well in the very beginning, but I just felt it was too long and I needed to change it. And I also wasn't feeling that name anymore. But anyways, I thought I would make a video. I was watching my favorite YouTuber, and then after my favorite YouTuber's live stream was done, I happened, for some reason, stumble across the video, and then I had Elvis's Viva Las Vegas stuck in my head, and I thought, well, maybe I'll create a video because I made a short. And I think that's something I thought about that would be really, it would be a really good topic, and see if it works, whether this video gets uploaded or not. If you're seeing the video, then it did. Because now that I have the tripod, maybe the camera won't be as close and maybe my audio will sound better. I know my voice is not the most perfect voice, so I am hoping that this will be a... Sorry, I had to blow my nose. This will be a better quality video. I am hoping of that, but anyways, we'll see. And I've realized, I think it's at least been 5+ years, if not more, that since I've ever been on a vacation. And I think that's something I would like to do. The hindrance problem, and I say hindrance, I love her to pieces, that kind of keeps me from that, is that I have a cat. I believe I mentioned it in my videos before, and she was my grandfather's cat, and I really love her. And obviously it will be very saddening to me if and when she passes, if she passes before me, and I'm hoping she doesn't, but I know nothing lives forever, so there may not be any uploads, even though there barely is any now, because I kind of just upload when I feel the need. Just to clarify, and also to clarify before I get further into this, that just remember, you probably will find I'm not invested into YouTube fully yet, as I think I should be, and as I want to be, sadly, and maybe I should, but also my filming setup isn't probably not the greatest. But anyways, back onto the video. So within realizing that, and knowing I have the cat, that may not happen anytime soon, but I've realized I really want to go on vacation, and I want to see the world, and do things, and enjoy things, because I haven't. Also because I'm currently still kind of looking for work, that probably won't happen anytime soon. I'm hoping I can find work, and I have 3 ideas of work in mind, and one of them is either L&A, the second one maybe working for an antique shop, or the third working with kids, and I had someone tell me they think I'd probably be pretty good with kids. So I think that's might be where I lean towards, because I have a niece and 2 nephews, plus some bonus kids that are my nephew's sister, but not really blood related, but I consider them as my nieces anyways, because they're part of the family now. And anyways, so this person is probably right. I probably am most likely good with kids. I guess, because I think I seem to do okay with kids, but you know. So that may be where I lean towards, because I've always wanted to do something where like I do activities with kids and I engage with kids, you know, like puzzles, things like that. Because I think I would be really good at being like a counselor, playing games with kids and getting them engaged, that kind of thing. Not so much like a teacher, because I've never really been for, say, teacher material, but like an activities counselor of some kind. So we'll see how that pans out. Like I said, L&A I believe I could also do, but I would have to go back to college and antique shop. But anyways, I thought I would make this video because I realized I haven't been on vacation in who knows how long, and I think a message I would like to convey to all of the people who do watch my YouTube is, if you haven't been on vacation in a long time and you want to take a vacation and you have the money, you should do it. Just do it. Go. It can be spontaneous. Go anywhere you want to go. Do whatever you want to do, because life is too short, and if you spend it all the time, waste it away. And here's another thing that can kind of tie into it that I will briefly talk about here, as much as I want to, is especially if you're lonely or depressed about things, and I won't get into a ton of detail, but I feel like the quality of my videos when I originally was making them, I wasn't really in a good place either to make a quality video, and so I think that's part of my problem too, is that maybe I just wasn't in the space, because I was dealing with some depression, because at the time when I first started was, I think I've mentioned it, that I had a grandmother who had Alzheimer's, and then I had a grandfather, her husband, who passed away before then. Well, anyways, you can clearly put two and two together. My head just wasn't in the right space, because I was really missing my grandpa, who was very an instrumental person in my life, and then watching the decline of my grandmother as she started to lose her memory, and then having to watch her go. It was almost like I was in a denial phase. And when they were coming to get her after she had passed, I let's just say I knew I was even more in a denial phase. And so if you're dealing with, like, what I'm going to say is, if you're dealing with depression and loneliness and stuff like that, that's probably more of the reason why you should. Now, say if you're dealing with a bunch of people and maybe you feel burnt out from people because you deal with them on a regular basis and you want to go on a solo vacation, do it. Obviously be safe about it, of course, I will stress that, but do it. I also feel like I wouldn't mind going on a vacation with my family again sometime, only because I live with my parents, as I believe I've mentioned, and I shouldn't, I guess, feel lonely, but I sometimes kind of do, because obviously my grandparents are gone, and like I said, they were very high impactful people in my life. And of course I believe I mentioned I lost 2 dogs that were my childhood pets that my grandfather adopted later. And I also miss them, and I feel like I'm lonely because I don't have them in this house anymore. If I didn't mention, this is the house that my grandparents lived in, that was inherited by one of my grandmother's relatives' husbands, who was the last to live past her. But anyways, yeah, and so I should be grateful. I'm starting to realize, though, that I should be grateful more for what I have around, but I just feel like I need my family more, and I feel like I really want to do a family vacation at some point when I can afford it with my family, and do something like that and see if my family would want to do that, or even something they like, because I do want to visit other places, just because I want to get out and see the world, because I've never really seen the world other than Maine and New York State, which I have been to, but mainly to a friend's house most of the time that was friends of the family through my grandparents. the ones that passed away. But anyways, yeah, and so I just really want to get out there, and I think that for people who may be feeling lonely and may not have, if you have any family left that hasn't passed on, or maybe you need to work on something between family members that you might feel you need to rekindle and move past and get together again, you should do that and have like a family vacation and have a conversation with them and just kind of get yourself to a space where you can be there mentally and physically, and just work past your differences, whatever they could be, and just enjoy your vacation. That's really what I want to do. Not that I have, for say, any full on differences with my family. I have some things, but anyways, I won't get into that. But I just want to have my family around, especially since losing my grandparents, because I will say, before I get off that topic, not to make this a completely morbid and sad video, but I was main caregiver for both of them, especially my grandmother towards the end, obviously, and we were very close. So it's like, that's why I sometimes feel lonely, because I feel like my purpose, taking care of them, was a purpose for me. And now that they're not here, I feel like the purpose was taken from me, but I know it was God's plan, in my opinion. For those of you who believe in God will probably agree with me. I mean, there's some people that don't, and I respect that. I respect all religions and beliefs, but I believe in God, in my own version of God. And anyways, I realized that, not to get hyper religious, in my opinion, that was God's plan, to take them when they needed to go. So I come to terms with that, even though it was very sad to me. And I know they're around me in spirit. I've already proven that multiple times. Multiple people have stated that to me. And I do believe, especially the one person that recently had stated that to me when in a scenario. But anyways, yeah, so I know they're around me. Plus, I sense them anyways, because I know I have a little bit of intuitiveness, I believe. But I believe I could be a full-on clairvoyant psychic, but I haven't gotten myself to that point yet, because I have little signs of what I believe to be things that psychics will experience, like ringing in the ears, and sometimes I think I see things out of the corner of my eye, but I look and then it's not there. But if I'm just looking nonchalantly, I can kind of see it, but it may not fully be there, and it may just because something moved and I didn't notice it. I only noticed that it moved out of the corner of my eye, and maybe like a car drove by, because it was outside today, one of the experiences. But what else was I gonna say? But yeah, that, and also I see a lot of colors. So after the moral of this is, after hearing that, I know that they're around me, and I know that they're hugging me, and I know that they're grateful, because I do believe I was visited in my sleep, especially from my grandmother after she had passed, and I know that I could tell, especially my grandfather did too, but I could tell that they were very grateful for it. So, and yeah, and quite honestly, with having my family around, I probably shouldn't be lonely, but that's just how I feel at times. So again, if you're feeling that way, just get together with old friends, get together with anyone you can, and just enjoy yourself. It could be a vacation in Florida, Las Vegas in the summertime, Arizona in the summertime, a tropical place like Bahamas. Just go. Another place I would really love to visit is Paris, because I've always wanted to go to Paris, because I have French ancestry, mostly Canadian French Canadian French ancestry, but I do believe a lot of Canadians, or at least part of them, migrated uh, from Europe and from France. So that's why I want to visit Paris as one. And I also want to visit Canada because that's where my ancestors that I'm aware of came from on both sides of my family. Because my dad's father was Irish, which I would also like to visit Ireland as well, and Scotland. And my dad's mother was French, Canadian French, and both my grandparents grew up from Canadian French descent families who talked fluid French, even though they didn't really learn it themselves, my mother's parents. And yeah, so that's why I want to visit those places, especially Canada because of my ancestry, and Ireland if I could find anything. And yeah, maybe visit the Indian reservation because I do have, which I thought was pretty cool if I went to Canada, because what I do have, which I thought was pretty cool, is that apparently my dad's mother had done some research into her family lineage and found that she was related to a Indian princess that had married into the family, um, like an aunt type of thing, and or probably a grandmother more so now. For I don't know exactly how my dad's mother figured what her title was, but either grandmother or aunt, obviously. But yeah, it would be cool to visit that and see their culture, because I've noticed that I've always held like some, I feel like some native values. Like I really love Native American flute music and any kind of like shaman music, and I have done some research on them and have practiced some of their values. Plus, I have really black hair. Well, it's starting to get some grays from age, but I have black hair, and I believe that's the Indian side of me coming out. And so yeah, it would be really cool to visit that one of their reservations, or the reservation, depending on how many they have, and just see what their culture's like. Maybe experience their food, maybe get to enjoy some of their music. If I go to France and I end up going to Paris, I definitely want to try escargot, because I feel like that's just an iconic French dish that I think everyone needs to experience once. And I say iconic. I may not care for it that much, but I mean, it's like something that's talked about so much. When you think of Paris, you think of escargot as one of the items that pops in your head. So that's why I really want to try escargot, so I can get the experience and go to a real French bakery and enjoy like a real baguette bread and some like croissants that are made by or croissants as we say them, as a lot of people say them in America, but it's really croissant is the French way to pronounce it. You kind of have to roll it with your tongue, croissant. But anyways, yeah, experience those, because there's some really good pastries that are croissant based and have filling in them, and other desserts. So yeah. Anyways, I think this video has gone on long enough, and I think I covered all the bases I need to cover in this. And before I close it out, I know I've said it a bunch of times in this video, but I can't stress it enough. If you're not having it mentally, and you feel like, say your environment's draining you a little and you're feeling burnt out by your job and all that stuff, and you have the funds and you feel it would make you feel better, family or going solo by yourself, go on a vacation, because I'm telling you, getting out in the world is the best thing. Don't become a shut-in, because I admit for a little while recently, since my grandparents passed away, I have become kind of a shut-in and a recluse. See, the thing is with me, as I'm an introvert, I feel like, and I can be very sociable, and I like having people around, but I feel like they can drain me. But I also like having people around because I'm afraid that my thoughts might consume me and that I might go into a negative place again where I don't want to be. And thankfully I've been checking my mental health, but I just think going on vacation at some point, even with family, would be great for me. That I would really enjoy that, and it would really get my mental health boosted back up, because I'm always excited when I see my brother Sean's family and the kids. And I don't know if I could get Monty and or my other nephew and his family to go, because he has quite a few sisters and his stepdad and his mom, so it's kind of like they're a whole family unit, and they've got busy lives doing things within their community and stuff. So yeah, but I think my brother, my other brother who's still alive, him and his family would definitely be apt to go on a family vacation. So anyways, yeah, I think that pretty much touches it. Thank you, YouTube folks. I hope this video finds you good, and I hope it brings you some sort of happiness, and maybe it will put a realization in for you that maybe you can reflect on yourself about, what am I not doing with my life now that I could be doing? And that's kind of why I went into the topic of feeling like vacation as an example, because I was thinking about that after watching my favorite YouTuber, and then also, yeah. So, anyways, as always, have an excellent time, whatever it is, wherever you are. Keep your heads up, stay strong, all that kind of jazz. Sunshine, unicorns, and rainbows. And I will see you in the next YouTube video, folks. YouTube folks, because, yeah.